Hello, this is Victor at RestoreYourMercedes.com. Mike, this video is for you. Finally, I get to work on making a video for you for the final outlook of the car. Plus, we're gonna make the log right now of things done and a couple of other small little factors that I would like to point out. So let's just start off, well, outside first, I guess. So, you know, the car is pretty much the same way. Like I said, I showed you videos of patching up a couple of little touch-ups I've done, but again, you know, right there. But again, I'm not a professional body man by any means, nor I'm a painter, but the outside and everything looks just fine. Some little scratches here and there as we had it. That is the way it is. You know, there's just like nothing that good detail wouldn't cover up. I mean, you can even polish the trunk lid. So this is how the car looks. Everything is fine here. There's a little clear coat missing on the driver's side mirror, and that is a common situation on these cars. See right here. Hood, yeah, you also can polish it off. That's fine. Wipers work, squirts work. Brakes are great. You know, they seem to be replaced. Lights work, so we'll go with the fog light situation. This one to be replaced because it's cracked, probably a rock chip or something. Then we have a piece plastic cover missing on this wiper. Now wipers I did repair, both of them. They work, and they even squirt out washer fluid on the glass. But as you can see, this plastic piece that snaps on, well, I don't want to break this one open because I don't need to, but this one flips and comes off. The actual squirt is built into the cap, so without the cap, when you try to wash your headlights, then it shoots right out forward. So you can just basically have somebody squirt it with that, with them not even knowing what hit them, because it's just like squirts forward. Okay, so that is in terms of outside of the vehicle, exterior. Nothing changed here. This one was like that. It's glued, but it is what it is. You know, somebody glued it. And in theory, this is replaceable. There are three little clips, and then the actual logo clicks in. So I guess clips are missing or broken, what have you, somebody glued it over. It's not the end of the world, but anyway, I just wanted to point that out, just so you know. Okay, moving along. So I said about little imperfections here. Okay, fine, not a big deal. The engine situation. Now for the engine mounts and transmission mount, they were replaced. Throttle bodies both rebuilt, including internal motors, new looms right here. Mass airflow sensor wires also redone. As you can see, these are my wires, all the way from sensor down to the computer. The engine didn't run really good because we had all these situations, all these issues come and play at once. So obviously we had issues here, plus some vacuum hoses were broken off in the back there. I reattached them, of course. And also we had a weak coil, so I replaced both ignition coils along with spark plugs. Again, the coils are deep in there. There's one right here. There's a new, I put the cap on and everything. It's a brand new Bosch original. Spark plugs F8 GC4, they're original to this engine. Also proper spark plugs. Wires themselves I left alone, and the harness itself was replaced before, so I did not touch that. The lower harness seemed to be patched up. Somebody patched it up before me, so I left it be. I did not do the lower harness. Now, oh yes, I also had to replace this sensor here. This is the acceleration sensor, and that was giving us errors for suspension, so that is done as well. No more codes. Suspension rides fine. Soft mode like sport and comfort works fine. Check the fluids. Fluids look good, and the engine itself looks really nice. It's very clean inside. Whoever had this car changed oil on time, so this is very good news. Now, also for the engine, belt tensioner pulley was replaced, and idler pulley right down there was replaced as well. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but it was done. New belt is installed as well. For the AC compressor replaced and system recharged, so that's fine, that's done as well. We got the wires for coolant fans also done. They still run an original loom, but if you look closely, these are the yellow wires that they keep going, and one goes all the way in the computer box there to the relay terminal because it was rotten all the way, and this one splice was here, so I respliced it. Everything is fine. That is in terms of the engine. Pretty much this is what I have done to the engine. Now let's go with little imperfections now. First off, the cover here is missing. I did not have the cover when I got the car. It was just not there. This little piece is also missing. There's a little cover over here that is not working. Heater control valve, by the way, was stuck. I also fixed the heater control valve. Thank God the seals are fine. It's just that the valve itself was bad. It was not used in years, and therefore it's just, you know, it's bad. You know, it was bad. So I cleaned it all up, polished it off. Now it works. So we saved the heater control valve all along. It's just those two solenoids over there. This is the heater control valve motor to circulate the coolant. So that's done as well. So imperfections, like I said, the cover here, cover over here, a large cover here, then basically, you know, there's a little clip over here that's missing. I'm gonna put just a zip tie. It's a little lock, really. It's not I mean, I can make it happen because it's still not broken, so I'll just put like a zip tie. The next set of imperfections that I have an issue with is that valve down there. See that one right back behind there? So it is your brake booster one-way check valve. It's pretty tired looking, but I just had a call from a customer who has actually, he broke that valve, and you know, this is what it is. Because you touch them, they can easily break. Yours isn't broken, it's just that it's just old, but he broke it and the pipe is no longer available, unfortunately. It's a whole assembly. I don't know about 140 chassis because his car was R129, so maybe yours is still available. So I would say to even just buy it and have it. Here's another shot of the valve. As you can see, it's pretty dried looking. It's like you touch it, it's definitely gonna fall apart. So that is something I would have replaced just for good measure, because if they will be no longer available, then might as well grab them now, those parts. There is a way to retrofit it, but might as well, if it's available, just replace. Thermostat itself, the thermostat is right here, and thermostat seems to be stuck open. It's a common thing on V12s. I don't know why V12s are suspected to this particular failure, but thermostat stuck open, so temperature is not reaching up to operational temperature for a long time. In the winter time, that will be an issue, because then you don't have hot heat. Heat is going to be you know, it's not going to be, you know, too hot. I mean, it's going to be just weak, you know, just on the highway, especially the engine will be cooled off, all the fans plus the air, and then thermostat is gonna, the radiator is gonna cool the whole engine below operational temperature, so you burn more gas and what have you. That's not a good idea. So that's good to have thermostat replaced. It's not a big deal really, it's just like right here. So there is a way to remove it without disassembling the whole engine. So that's good news. I can do that if you would like me to. And maybe the pipe. I mean, we're just gonna have to talk about finances because there's so many things done, and the bill, you know. So I'm just want to make sure that we're on point here, because you know there's a lot of things, because none of these things were done and I had to do all of them except for the lower harness. Somebody did something to it. Okay, so that is that. The coolant seems to be the proper coolant. It's clear kind of coolant, so it's gonna be kind of on a bluish end, but it's kind of clearish, so it's fine. Better than green, but still, I don't know if it's the right one. I use the Mercedes coolant. It's bluish nowadays. Okay, in terms of the engine, everything is fine. I don't have any issues. Hydraulic reservoir fluid is full. I don't know if you can see it. It didn't go anywhere. See what the line, clear and dark. That means that's where the fluid is, and above there is no, well, that's what it's supposed to be. And this is basically all with the engine. I have no issues with it, no more. A couple of those things, those are the only things. Now, exhaust had the broken hanger, so I did the hanger in the back. Other than that, catalytic converters, they're a little loose, but it's not a big deal. I mean, you can drive like this or replace catalytics with some aftermarket ones just to make it quieter, because it's not like the exhaust has a leak, it's just that the catalytics make that rattling sound. V12s, I've seen this happen a lot, and it could have been just because mass airflow shorted out and then they burnt out catalytic converters because the engine was not running properly, and that's bad news. So that is that. Here, that fuse 22, like I said, the fuse box, missing legend by the way what fuses do, but it's not critical. So as you can see, I drilled a couple of holes to move the terminals together just to get the fuse to work right. So now we got the radio working properly, and we have relay, convenience relay is not clicking anymore. It was really annoying when you're in the car and it's just like something click, 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 click. It's just like high frequency activation of the relay for no apparent reason. That's what it was. It was very annoying. While I'm at it, I'm gonna just talk about the seals. Like I said, these seals here, as you can see, they're kind of messed up. I know that people replaced them, and I know that they were replaceable. This comes out and then the seal comes off. So I don't know if you want to do those. It all depends if there is a lot of wind noise. The sealing is pretty much, it's double. So you have this seal right here that seals it off, and then second one right here. So it's double seal against the glass. All right. So if you look, the inner one fits over. This one has damages. That's just because windows were not synchronized and somebody was moving windows up and down against them. That's not good. Same situation is, well, actually no, wait a minute, this one is nice. I'm sorry, there's only one. Okay, now this window here, it has a little bit of a play, as you can see. So the regulator is a little tired. As you can see, the window, when it closes, it sort of stresses. See how it like moves it up and down. So line up, I wouldn't really mess with it, to be honest with you, until it breaks, because lining up these windows on the coupe is very difficult, because you see they're not lined up exactly perfect. It's not like the accident or anything, but it's just the way it is. So if you don't use that much, then let it be. There's one more thing I forgot to do. I'll do it. I'll have to change the pressure on the pump, so we don't have lumbars to activate. For the interior passenger side, the sail panel is just what I did. That's all I did. And a little button was missing as well. Seats, you see, they don't stay on, and the reason being is because there's a little bit of a bump here on the floor on both sides. Underneath the car you can see it more clearly, so I guess there was a little bit of deformation, maybe a rock or something. It's not the end of the world. This particular headrest motor is not working properly. It does not drop the headrest. Other than that, on this side we're okay. Glove box, so that's fine. And also here, as you can see, there's a little bit of a bump on the floor here. There's nothing I can do about that. That's the bottom of the car and the carpet here. So do not move the seat forward. That deformed because of the whole carpet that was pulled up, and that's unfortunate, but that's not the job for me. So that's not what I do. That's under the car's body, and that's, unfortunately, I cannot do anything with. I tried, I couldn't do anything without. This pocket right here was loose, so I tightened this pocket up, and so that's that. I glued up the adjuster here for the vent, so it moves and works. I replaced light bulbs here, light bulbs inside climate control. I fixed the radio rotary encoder. Volume control works now. I changed some capacitors in the radio as well, so that works fine. What else? When I removed all this, I had to glue a lot of tiny little clips, because every time I would remove the panel, then the clips would come off. And the reason why I even had to go there is because of this, the airbag sensor. This one was not resettable, so I had to replace it with the one that reset. Also, I did your pocket here. Now for the pocket, this is where cell phone used to be. So if you want authenticity, if you want it to look nice, you know, these exactly same, then you can just take your cell phone, you can stick it in there and just let it sit there, just push it in, because that's really how it's held. Because it's just, this phone is, I don't even see the wire for it, I don't know what it is. So, but it's obviously cannot be activated, this is analog. So, but I would rather have it open so you have a pocket so you can store your things. And now it closes. And this is the best I could do with the leather, because this thing is leather wrapped, so there is a little bit of deformation, but it's not the end of the world. Again, the car is in 1995. Sunroof I don't suggest messing with, because like I said, we got this panel here that was glued up by somebody very, very badly. It's sticking, and yeah, what have you. I believe it was available. If it bothers you, then you can just completely rip it out and close it. Unless you want me to fix it, I can check out what I can do. But the sunroof situation, you see, it's not even closing. I mean, I really hate touching sunroofs, and one very reason why. This is suede, and I have to take all of this panel, right? And there's gonna be a bunch of clips that's gonna break, and God forbid suede is gonna start to come off and start to unglue. This is very risky. The only reason why you go there if you have water leaks. If the sunroof drains are blocked off or broken, then the water is leaking in the car. I do not see this problem here. So for that very reason, I would rather leave this alone, to be honest with you. I think it worked, the sunroof. I tried it. I think it worked, but you know, like, let's take a look, see what happens. Yeah, the sunroof seems to be working. It's actually not even binding. But as you can see, this panel, when it opens, see how it's like drops? It shouldn't drop, because this whole thing, you know what, this is just ridiculous. This is just horrible, really. I'm gonna have to do something with this. If it's available, I'll buy it. It wasn't expensive. I have done these before. This rattle sound is just unbearable, to be honest with you. Okay, I'm gonna have to have both hands with this. But again, you let me know if you really care for this or not. Because all my cars, see, this thing is like, it's all screwed up here. There. This thing is not critical, but I mean, I just, you know, whatever. If it is what it is. If you want me to fix it, I can fix it. The door switch here cleaned up because the extender was moving up and down. I was very, very, very annoying. Now, let's move along on the other side and see what happened here. Now, this I put together the best way I could. There is a little zip tie over there that's holding this the back portion of it. So, but it's so broken over here, the opening and the switch. If I put the switch in, it just falls right in. Lumbar support's all broken off. No point of fixing that because we're shutting it down anyway, because most likely balloons inside seats, they also leak. Again, if you want to fix it, there's no problem, but I just don't find it being reasonable. It's too much work for something that, you know, it's cool, yes, I mean, it's nice, but do you want to do it or not? Because there was enough spent on the vehicle already. Now, over here, there was a little bump here as well on the carpet, just so you know. Seat belt was broken all up. It was completely messed up. Now, it goes up, and it doesn't stay very secure, because that's the best I can do with the seat belt. Same thing with the seat cushion over here. It might be a way to kind of move them around, but it's up to you. You let me know if you need them. I can spend some time on them. This side, the door lock actuator was leaking. Sail panel was broken. It was there, but it was not holding, so I welded it together, both of them, but this is one-time use. Okay, so once you pop it off, most likely it'll break, just because, you know, this is not a replacement, this is a plastic welded one. So that's that. Seat belt here was also broken for the micro switches, so SRS light would just pop on and would stay lit. That was not really nice. Now I also replaced the bulb over here. That's for the outside temperature readout. So SRS light, as you can see, is out. It's okay for your engine to kind of like go up and down a little bit when it starts. Don't worry about that. It's an older vehicle. It's not, you know, it's two engines sync with each other. It's, you know, this is what it is. It runs really nice when it warms up. It's absolutely flawless. The way the engine runs, like absolutely perfectly fine. You see this RPM fluctuation a little bit here and there. That's cold start. You might experience that, unfortunately. They will stabilize though. That will be fine. Cold start goes away and then we'll be fine. This little panel here, it's lifted. I tried to bend it back down. All the clips here are dried up and broken. So there's really not much I can do with that, with this panel. So unfortunately it's going to be the way it is, but it stays and it looks much better than absolutely lifted sideways. See, your RPMs are stabilized and they run just fine. What else we have here? Mirror controls. Mirrors fold. Mirrors unfold. It's good. The one in the middle goes up, goes down. It's a little bit like, I can probably make it go. Oh, actually no, that's pretty much fine. There is a little adjustment. No, that's fine. I'm gonna leave it. This is electric. Never touch it by hand, because then it's gonna break. You don't want that. Rear headrests, let me show you those. AC, automatic, of course. Headrests, sorry, right here. Okay, the shade first. The shade works. But see, that is an issue. That is the gear for the shade. So I'm gonna fold it, but it's something that you might not want to use. And the headrest. See, one of them goes, the other one is not working. So I guess we'll just bring them up, let them stay up. And the shade, I have to do manual down. Again, if you want that,